1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Welcome into a Friday edition of the program, and training camp practice number 3 in the book.
Yes.
Good one.
It was
a good one. Yeah, very competitive.
One if you're on
man.
the defense.
Yeah. Well, listen, the defense has, they've taken pretty much control since the beginning, which is great because the coverage has been really good, Taylor. I mean, it's, if you think about it, there hasn't, other than Mullins and Cephas at maybe week 1 or the day one, other than that, nothing downfield. And it's not because the balls are thrown wrong. They're right where they're supposed to be. But the coverage is right on there.
They're right on
them. Sticky. We call that sticky coverage.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, I like it because I think that, and you obviously want to start to see eventually offense winning some days, and I think we will. But I do think at this point in time, they always say the defense will be a little bit of ahead. I think there are a lot more new pieces that you're kind of counting on offensively too, so that's probably factoring in. And we heard Trevor Lawrence himself say the difficulty of this Liam Cohen playbook and offense in general. So if he's saying that, then definitely probably some of these younger guys are feeling that too when it comes to learning that side of things. But I've been pleased watching the secondary because especially the safety room, we're seeing a lot of things kind of mixed up, which I like too. And that's something that I've been vocal about. I'm not a big fan of the safety room, and I wanted to see a true battle because I think you got to see what you have out there, and that's what we've seen so far.
No, absolutely. And every day there's been a new starter at free safety, which is great. So that means it's an open competition, and they're all going to have a shot at it. They've all made plays. Caleb, Dewey, and who's the third? Antonio. Yeah, he's been making plays too. He's been having a good camp so far. Look, the corners look good too. Tyson looked good.
Tyson looked
really
great
good
today. Yeah.
I feel like there's a new and I don't want to say energy because everybody uses that. It's like a chip. It's like an edge almost. You haven't seen it yet from. Look. The line of scrimmage, we're going to figure out when the pads come on. It looks better for the defense right now, but don't read too much into that. But the swag and the attitude, I just feel like they're a little bit edgier on the secondary this year.
Yeah, I think.
You feel that?
Yeah, I think that's Coach Camp. I think that's a trademark of now his defensive presence and prowess.
Yeah.
Ron Miles certainly. I think adds to that. I think Travis Hunter playing with the secondary today, playing on defense today, I think that adds a little bit. Liam Cohen said post-practice that no matter which side of the ball Travis Hunter plays, he has a vibe.
Yeah.
And that vibe is, I'm going to beat you. Like, I am better than you. I'm going to beat you. And today I thought, so Taylor and I were standing along the sidelines when at one point there was really good coverage, Christian Braswell on Brian Thomas Jr. And the ball hit the ground. Thomas Jr. did not catch it. And he was visibly frustrated after that. And so I asked Travis Hunter, did you notice if the receivers were getting frustrated all during practice? And he's like, I wasn't paying attention to them basically today.
Yeah.
But that's where I do think all of those elements bring us to a point where I feel like the defense, like you said, we're not going to talk about the defensive line so much yet, but we will on Monday. But they have a nastiness about them, and that is night and day different from last year.
Yeah, I think we want to. Once pads go on, we will see up front more, and we'll be able to determine some of that. And that will also factor into the back, too, because we've said many times on the show, and Tommy, we were talking about it yesterday, but when it comes to that pass rush, how much that affects everything else, too. And so I do think that there's a lot of things that we're going to want to see up front improve, including stopping the run also. That's a part of that. But defensively, I think the secondary last year was so bad, and there was a lot of miscommunication. It felt like people didn't know where they were supposed to be. There was a lot of missed tackles. That stuff feels, and we're not tackling yet, so we haven't seen that side of it. But when it comes to knowing where you're supposed to be, and you can tell, and that sticky coverage coming from, they're on their guy because they know exactly the place that they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and the coverage has been good for the 3 days. But let's, for the record, it's not like they're shutting down every pass. The receivers in the passing offense have had success. It just hasn't been big play success just yet. They're trying it all. They're down the middle. They're down the sideline. They're trying different things. Today they worked a lot on some screens, running back screens, which I like. If you set that up, the only problem with running back screens is if it's man, it's so easy to snuff out as whoever has that back because they all do the same thing.
Yeah,
they just kind of pretend like they're doing something and they kind of sneak over here, and you're like, man, I'm watching you the whole time. I know what's going on. You see the linemen pop up, and they're like, oh, don't look at us. We're not going to go out there. And all of a sudden they go out there like, yeah, I know exactly what play this is. But if you can catch a defense off guard, they can be very effective. Wyatt Milam looked good coming out, pulling out. Hainsey looked good pulling out. I mean, they leading those backs up the field. So I think, look, it's been probably defense the edge right now. But
I'd say
the offense will click. Yeah. It'll start clicking. Listen, what will happen is, look, when the defensive line rushes, you're only going to do so much in these practices without pass. You may give him an initial hit. He may knock down your hand. You may get it back up again. Maybe he's by you. You're not pulling on his jersey. You're not riding him down. You're not going with him. You're kind of just, okay. And then it looks like they're just dominating and, pressure and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Some of the runs got pretty physical, even though when they're not in pads, which was kind of nice to see. So I'm expecting a physical padded practice, which is going to be fun to watch. When's the last time we could say that, this is going to be fun. It's not a scrimmage, it's practice. And we could tell already with them being not in pads and how they're playing that it's going to be a physical padded practice.
Yeah, because already today I noticed there was a few batted balls at the line by the defensive line, which that's stuff you like. If you're talking about the defense, that's things you like seeing.
Yeah, Liam said that he did not like seeing that.
Liam Cohen is not going to like that. But to me, I think I saw 3 where I was like, oh, there's another batted. And so things like that. But to your point, Tommy, once pads come on offensive line, when the offensive line has those pads on, how quick are you getting that? How much are their hands affecting and kind of how quickly they can get up? But so we'll see all of that as it goes. But stuff like that, it makes me feel good because last year this was a defense, the offense struggled, and we'll talk about those as they go. But defensively, there was a lot of issues, and it does feel like some of those are starting to be hammered out early on.
It's funny. I don't think Liam was very happy at the interception Trevor threw to Muma.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was that excited that Muma got the pick and ran to the end zone. You know what I mean? And you know what? That's going to be a real big teaching moment because there was something wrong there. He just threw it right to him.
Some bad miscommunication.
Either miscommunication or he read something different or whatever. But after the interception, I look over at Liam. He's just walking away with his head down. Deep inside, he's like, but I guarantee you, that'll be a great teacher moment because they'll figure it out.
Yeah. And Chad's like, Coach.
Well, that's why, funny enough, you say that. So he's told us, Liam Cohen has told us, it's this war within himself, right?
Yeah.
I want the offense to do well. I'm the play caller. So when the calls don't go successfully, when those plays don't go successfully, it's on me as I'm the play caller. So I asked him, what was your first reaction to Trevor's interception today by Muma? And he's like, my first reaction was I was pissed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, Muma just with one hand caught the interception. Right. He's like, thankfully I hit him in the chest because he's only got the one because one of his hands is wrapped right now. Yep. So I do think that there is that struggle within him, that dichotomy of I want literally the offense to be successful in every single play. But then at the end of the night, or at the end of the practice and at night when I'm going over with the defense,
they're all your guys now. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think he'll always be instinctually offense first, but that's okay. That's just how his brain's wired.
I think with especially in today, you if you get a great defense, that's a luxury, but you got to score, and you got to score. And if you turn the ball over, you're not scoring. So that's got to eat it, especially offensive-minded coaches, right? It's their system, and they get. I'm sure they're humans. They're going to get frustrated too, but they'll work it out. That's something that that Trevor's maybe not seen before,
right.
Or like you said, Taylor, miscommunication somewhere along the line. But I mean, you just don't throw to the defender. Just
wrong
right
guy.
He's that's not
Travis Hunter may confuse you a little bit every now and then.
Wait, am I offense or defense?
Luckily the jerseys are different.
That's true.
That they are. Yeah, it's funny. So listening to Liam Cohen, Jags PR did a great job listening to Liam Cohen on the drill this morning, Tony Baselli on the drill this morning, and then Caleb Branshaw joined y'all in Jaguars today earlier. He was fantastic in listening to that interview. But Liam said this morning that, to your point about the scrimmage, so a week from tonight, there will be the scrimmage at Everbank Stadium, and I think that's going to be awesome and fun. And Liam said when he joined Dan and Jeff that they're going to treat that like it's a game as far as their preparation in different situations. And he also mentioned that he's back in June, he hired a game management coach, which I found interesting and I actually love because we've talked about it on the Florida football side where Billy Napier has too many things going on. And when he's play calling, he's not able to handle some other things. And that's why we've seen special teams issues and things like that. And so I was like, well, that's good. So Liam him as a first-time head coach who is also a play caller will have someone there to guide him through certain situations.
Yeah, which I think is smart for a guy who, number one, had just last year been calling plays in the NFL for the first time, and then 1 year later you are a head coach and doing that. So if you could take anything off your plate, I feel like that's a smart idea. And those things, that helps with timeouts and all of those little things that maybe like if you are calling plays, that just gives you a little bit extra of a backup in certain scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're all creatures of habit, coaches included, right? So you're talking about like, it's coming towards the end of the half or towards the end of a game and it's third down and you don't get the first down. You got 8 seconds to get out there, get your field goal unit ready. You're not just going to not do that in a game-like situation. So when they say mock game, that's what they're going to have, those situations, and they're going to be fun. They're going to be fun for the fans to check out and that type of thing. But you got to do it.
We'll also air it, by the way, on our radio station.
Nice.
So for fans who can't attend, you can hear that right here on Terminex on 92.5 FM.
Yeah, you have to do it. The little details, how you line up, when you line up, timeouts, how we, interchange. I'll tell you this, don't be the guy that forgets that you're on like the 6th punt team. You know what I mean? Don't be that guy.
You're just standing there looking around.
Hey, you're in. Oh, no, am I? Just don't be that guy. That would be my advice to you.
Well, Tom, when I referenced the special team miscues at Florida, at one point in time, Florida had 2 number 3s on the field.
Oh, jeez.
For
right.
a field goal. Like
the
2
little
number
things.
3s.
I remember there was the memes, like the Spider-Man memes where they're pointing at each other with those guys and they were just like, hold on, you're 3, I'm 3.
Yeah, right.
Because obviously you can't do that and you have to have someone that catches something like that before they go out on the field and cause what was a big penalty.
I wonder what the play will be like. Is it just going to be more of a fast-paced walkthrough, not... When they say game, it's not going to be like game speed. I think it's more like the different things that happen during a game and how we're going to handle it and how we're going to line up and how we're going to, execute whatever we have to do.
Like kind of scripted certain things. Like we need to make sure we're
Red
in a
zone,
third
2
and
minutes.
this.
Yeah, for sure. And look, they understand too that not all fans can get out to the Miller Electric Center for, during the day and because there's limited capacity too. And a lot of these practices have sold out. So when they have it at Everbank Stadium, it allows everyone who wants to attend to be able to attend, especially because it is Friday night and hopefully a little cooler.
Yeah.
A little cooler.
It would be fun. I don't know if I don't think they do. I think it would be fun. Like, okay, so you don't want to do 11 on 11 full speed, right? But wouldn't fans love to see like Brian Thomas Jr. go against Jarian Jones 1-on-1, or the defensive line?
Tyson Campbell, Travis Hunter.
We'll get to see that at practice, but wouldn't the fans love to, instead of a game? Now they got to do the mock game for them, right?
Yes.
So they get used to it. But if they didn't have to, like it was more competition, right? More than
fans
just
would love that.
Yeah,
I think would love, honestly, if you took all the big guys out, the trenches, like
play 7 on
and
7.
just play 7 on 7, and I mean even put flags on them if you want, and just give the fans a show with all that speed.
The
out
real
there.
football nerds are like, let's just even see lineman drills. Like, let's see
that'll be me on Monday when the pads are on. I will be absolutely there when it's O-line versus D-line.
On Monday, where do you want? Where are you going first? Are you going to watch the DBs and corners go at it? O-line, D-line.
Yeah, that's where I want to go.
Yeah, that's right.
While I understand, the corners DB or corners versus the receivers, like that is important too. Seeing once they can actually hit, but I got to see with this offensive line. That's the biggest question mark for me on this team to this point is the offensive line, and right now we're not seeing necessarily all of the defensive linemen out there. So if they're participating, then that's another thing that we
probably not what we're thinking is the starting 5 defensive line, and they're still beating. So
no, that's, I tell you, when they go 1-on-1 now, it's 1-on-1, but they line up as a unit.
Yeah.
So there is nobody's helping them, but that you got to work with that in that territory, right? So it's not like just 1-on-1 with that defensive player can go anywhere he wants. It's within the defense, and same for the offensive player. So you can find some nuggets. I'll tell you what, I'll take you way back if I may. I'll never forget going on. It was I forget what year it was because I can't remember what year he was a rookie, undrafted rookie, Richard Collier out of Valdosta State. God love him. What a great person. And I remember going out to practice for the first time, and I'm on the phone doing a call in on 1010. I think it was Baloo or something. I'm like, you guys better keep an eye out for number 76. He was like 6'7", 350, had the visor, dark. And he went against Bobby McCray in a 1-on-1 who had 10 sacks the year before, and they did it 2 in a row, and his feet were so good. He shut him down twice. And I was like, you got to keep an eye out for this kid. I mean, he was so massive. We all know the story, obviously. God bless him. But that's when those drills kind of matter. Like you can see athleticism, you can see size, you can see do they know how to use their hands, and vice versa for the defender. Let's watch that bend, like Trayvon Walker talking about getting around the bend. You got to bend that inside and get low, almost parallel to the line. You're using your hands. So it is. And look, I think for the fans, the receiver, DB, quarterback, throwing, that might be more exciting and flashy for you. But man, if you want to really see just massive human beings going at it and seeing how athletic they are and having an idea of what we have, man, it is something special to see.
Yeah, I think we're going to walk away from Monday saying, Wyatt Milam, we knew he was athletic, but oh my goodness, look at that strength and power too. That's what I think, at least from watching him to this point. All right, more Jaguars training camp and Tommy's takeaways on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on Tuten on 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass.
Friday on Helmets and Heels.
Of course, he did 3 scenes from Godfather 2.
Dan Hicken.
He still does that?
Jeff Prosser.
I've got this terrible feeling he's going to do something to screw this up.
The Drill.
Do you want to talk about this?
Mornings on 1010XL.
I mean, seriously?
Football season is here, so I have to get organized. Lauren Brooks here, Closets by Design, creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Their hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
When was the first cruise ship voyage?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The first cruise voyage was on the Princess Victoria Louise, which set sail on her maiden voyage in January of 1901.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take the field this Saturday. Kickoff at 7. Tickets start at just $15. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Ask about the Sharks 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card, all for only $100. It's Military Appreciation Night, presented by True Vet Solutions. All current and former military can purchase a special buy one, get one free ticket deal. Join us on the field after the game for a jersey auction and autograph session, sponsored by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectible. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
Summertime is busy with graduation parties, summer barbecues, festivities, family gatherings. The month of July, National Carpet Cleaning Month. So Zero Res is offering $45 per room of carpet clean and 20% off air duct cleaning services as well. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call them 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Like everybody knows, I was drafted off of potential. I've only been pass rushing. I started pass rushing at defensive end probably say through my sophomore year of college, but now I always had athleticism to be great, but now I'm just starting to put everything together. So obviously it's some things that I'll be like, I definitely could have worked on some things better right here, but obviously now, like I say, just trying to get 1% better every day, every year, and that's the main goal.
I wanted people to hear that soundbite from Trayvon Walker because to me there were 2 important things that he said. First, he started off with, I know I was drafted on potential. Mm-hmm. He knows what people have been saying about how Aiden Hutchinson's so much better than him. And 2, he didn't start pass rushing as a defensive end until his sophomore year at Georgia. Mm-hmm. That means he did not do that at all in high school, when a lot of guys learn. And then he only did it 3 years. Well, I guess he was drafted as a junior, so 2 years in college. Yep. So that's why when he was asked by the Jaguars social team a few months back, like, what's the one thing you wish you knew before getting drafted? And he said, pass rush moves. Yeah. I wish I had better techniques coming into the league. That's why, to me, watch out, NFL.
It's also hard to ask somebody to have those pass rush moves when that wasn't really what your focus was in college. So I think that I love that he wants to, but I think that and that potential word is part of it. And that's the word that always gets thrown around with Trayvon Walker. And that's why it's going to forever be the comparisons of him and Aiden Hutchinson. That's just what it's going to be. But all he can do is continuing to do what he's doing, because I think people are starting to really notice at this point. And if those moves he really does start to perfect and get some of those moves down, then he is dangerous, because he's already very good against the run, and you already know he can create those pressures already. Now you get some extra moves in there, and he's one of the more dangerous players in the NFL.
Well, he got away with running over people for the majority of his football career.
Yeah. And they moved him around on the field.
Yeah, he would just use brute power. But you know what? That's great against the run, and he's shown that. But you got to have those moves, and he's worked on them. You can tell he's put in the work, man. He's got the bend now. He's using his hands. He's got a second move. He's got a third move. He's going to be, his sky's the limit as far as I'm concerned. His ceiling is still very high.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting to see 41 and 44, Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker.
Agreed.
Full speed with pads on starting Monday. Now we'll be able to tell how good or not good the offensive line is based off of that. All right.
By the way, happy birthday, Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren, happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Tommy was like, should we sing to her? I was like, I don't know if people want to
I thought you were going to sing to her, Taylor. It's your turn. I already sang for us on Sunday,
that's
so it's
very
your
true.
turn now.
RJ will sing, right, RJ?
RJ's probably got a nice soothing
I think
voice.
so.
We've heard RJ sing. He can sing.
R&B,
I'm not
little
surprised.
jazz.
Yeah. By the way, I have had so many people request a new heel tone song now that we have a lead singer. Now that
and a band.
The band, right?
They'd
So
love to come in
we
here
got to
and play
work
some
on
tunes.
something. I kept saying, we'll see how the season goes to kind of hedge our bets just a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't jinx anything.
That's the thing.
Lauren and I are too superstitious.
Way too superstitious.
Oh,
All right,
are you? All
for
right.
sure. Time now for Tommy's takeaways.
That's right. It's time for Tommy's Takeaways, brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. I tell you what, this is my takeaway after 3 days at camp. Get your popcorn ready because the free safety room and the running back room is going to heat up, man. You got some contestants that are vying for that starting position. Of course, you got Bigsby and ETN and Tuten in that running back room and free safety. It's up for grabs as far as I'm concerned, whether you got Savage, Andrew Wingard, Ray and
Lane.
No, not really. I didn't put him in there. Sorry, Antonio Johnson. And then Ranshaw, Caleb Ranshaw. So there's 4 guys there. I tell you what, it's up for grabs right now. And now that we get the pads on, I think it's going to be exciting. The competition is thick. That defensive backfield's got an edge to them. If that D-line comes together, this could be a really fun defense to watch. And that's my takeaways for today, brought to our good friends J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Yeah, Parker Washington, I think, has looked really good. And there was a time today where he and Caleb Ranshaw were definitely, going at each other out there. And Parker did catch the ball. It was probably the best catch, I would say, of today. But, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Free safety is a position that I did not realize how many different guys would be vying for it until these first 3 days, because they didn't run OTAs and minicamp the same way at that position as they have been.
Yeah, which I was expecting it to be a little different just because, number one, I think it's Coach Camp getting familiar with his personnel in general and who he has. And I think that OTAs kind of gave him the ability to do that. And then now he wants to see a lot of it and a lot of different mixtures we're seeing out there, which, again, I'm very excited about because I think that it's a room that you really, it needs a lot of improvement from last year, obviously. And we talk about but the defensive backs in general, but the safety room. And there's a lot of question marks when it comes to that. There's guys that's been on this roster for a little bit now, like an Antonio Johnson, where every year we feel like, okay, this is going to be his year. So far, if through 3 days of camp, it looks like, okay, like here we go, Antonio Johnson. And so those type of things, but it changes day to day. And so tomorrow we could be saying that about Dewey. And then that's kind of how it goes right now. So I like that camp wants to see all of them.
Yeah, I do too. And you mentioned Antonio Johnson. Listen, no disrespect to the other guys, and whoever earns it will truly earn it. But man, if he could put it all together, he's built like the perfect free safety. I mean, he's tall, he's fast,
quote unquote a steal in the draft.
He's physical, and man, he's been picking off some passes and showing the return skills too. Man, he can really run and move. So if he can get it all down mentally, it's gonna. I tell you, that's what I'm saying. That room's gonna be fun to watch. Who's gonna end up being the starter going in? I still think Wingard's got a heck of a chance because he's my sounding board. He's my I know he's gonna keep us in the right position, keep us in the right calls. He may not be able to do everything physically the other guys can do, but he knows how to take angles. He knows how to anticipate and that kind of thing. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Speaking of Caleb Ranshaw, the Jaguars safety joined Jaguars today earlier with you, Mike and Tony. And here he is on his defensive coordinator and how he likes to coach.
Man, he's a hard coach. He coaches you to get better, and he just keeps it truthful with us as far as like telling us our rights and our wrongs. But honesty, that only builds you. That doesn't break you. So I mean, he's a good coach for sure, and I love it.
I went to Coach Camp's press conference yesterday, Anthony Campanile, and as soon as it ended, I said to Kai Stevens, who works for Jaguars.com, I was like, the whole press conference was about honesty. Mm-hmm. And we were like, I think there's a reason for that. I don't think that existed with the defensive staff last year. And that's why we are going to continue to hear players and coaches really push honesty.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Before last year, I mean, the last few years, I feel like we've talked about and I keep going to the past because we're trying to move on. But when you talk about when the defensive coaching staff was fired and everybody was like, hold on, we thought Press was going to be fired. Why is the defensive side fired? And then all the stories started coming out about lack of preparation, and there was a lot of pointing fingers at that time. It wasn't a lot of accountability being taken, and in the midst of all of that, there was not a lot of honesty. And we know last year we talk about the play calling and all of that stuff. To me, all those little things add up to that. Not only are we're not like, oh, we're the media, you need to tell us everything. It's not supposed to be that, but at some point you have to have that relationship between fans, between media, between your players. Everybody wants to be able to trust you, and I feel like they're establishing that very quickly here.
Yeah, 3 words in that response by Caleb was fair and rights and wrongs. Mm-hmm. So he's telling them their rights too, which I'm telling you right now, anybody.
Absolutely.
It's like when you're a kid, you get a good report card. Your parents are like, all right, let's go to dinner. Yeah. And then you bring a bad one home. They're like spank you and send you to your room with no dinner. You figure out the difference, right? It's the same thing as players, man. When we know our coach is going to be like, that was a hell of a job. Great job, great job, great job. But we also know if we screw it up, he's going to be like, that was a terrible job. As long as it's fair and consistent, man, you can really get people to work for you, get people behind you, and that's what any player, any employee, I think, in my opinion, that's what we want. We just want that fairness and that consistency.
Right. Yeah. I always say you want to know how someone's going to respond to things, and that way you can predict if you can predict how they're going to respond, then you can react accordingly. So if you're talking about safeties, they have to be able to communicate, and they also have to have those instincts of he's going to go there, I got to go there.
Correct. Yeah, listen, again, just adulation and critique should be equal. And maybe a little bit more on the adulation side, you know what I mean? Just a little bit.
That's why we got the gold stickers on your papers when you were little.
I didn't never get a bad report card, but I understand some people
listen to you. Is there a halo over that head? Look at that.
Oh, no, I
never got a bad report
No,
card.
what I got was she talks too much in class. My parents had to yell at me a lot for the
Were you ever sent to the principal, Lauren?
Yes. So I was one time I got 2 detentions in grade school. So that's up to 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
One I got for buying a soda, like a Coke can of soda before.
Not the other Coke.
Let me rephrase.
Met your dealer outside in 5th grade.
Not that. Before 3:30 p.m. For some reason, there was a rule at the school that you couldn't buy Coke before 3:30, which makes why would you want kids to have sugar later? But we talked about it recently, and my family was like, because they want the parents to deal with the sugar.
Yeah,
they
don't want to.
That's right.
So that time, and then I was with 3 other friends sitting at the cafeteria one day, and we just somebody got into a food fight.
Oh, that's
and I got
fun,
attention then.
Yeah.
Did the whole cafeteria jump in?
Thankfully, no.
What's the over/under for Taylor Doll? Like 7? How many times you had to go to the principal's office?
I was actually pretty good, but I did talk too much. I was a little mouthy sometimes, and so I would talk back. That was what my biggest problem until probably like the beginning of college. Then I had to kind of reel it in, but I did have a talking back problem for a while.
Yeah.
That got me in trouble.
And you had?
Yeah, plenty. Plenty.
Yeah.
Not enough fingers for
Not too bad. I did something really bad in 8th grade, and they made me sit out a football game. That was really tough.
That's a bad punishment.
And we lost, and it was tough.
It was
My
all your
best friend
fault.
got hurt. He had to go to the hospital.
Oh, no.
He was fine. He ended up being fine, but it was like, I'm on the sideline. I shouldn't have flicked off that band teacher when he wasn't looking. And his son saw me and told on me. I was like, I'm going to kill you. And then I couldn't do that. So, yeah, that was a pretty bad one. I had to pay the piper for that one at school and at home. So thanks, Dad, for that one. I didn't do it again. So
but
that's how you learn.
Exactly. That is how you learn. All right, we've got more to do on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on Tuten on 92.5 FM.
You're looking through a Lee and Kate's Glass Friday on Helmets and Heels. Your front row seat to history in the making.
The Florida Gators, they are the 2025 national champions.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL.
Summer's calling, and Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is ready to answer. Cruise through sun-filled days in a stylish new Tucson, pack the family into a spacious Santa Fe, or explore our selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. Find hot deals on Hyundais backed by our exclusive nationwide lifetime warranty. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.com. Visit us on Atlantic Boulevard. For all life's journeys, Jenkins Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is here. Welcome to the family. Offer subject to change. See dealer for details.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
A new era of women's professional soccer has arrived. The Gainbridge Super League, redefining the game for the next generation. Sporting Jacks, the first ever pro women's team on the First Coast. Be there for history. Secure your tickets now at sportingjacks.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 25th, 1956, Pittsburgh Pirates' Roberto Clemente hits the MLB's first and only walk-off inside the park grand slam.
Final days. Diamonds Direct Summer Showcase ends this Sunday, but there's still time to make it unforgettable. Get an extra 20% off almost everything. Engagement rings, wedding bands, earrings, gold jewelry, tennis bracelets, and stunning fashion jewelry. Plus, this weekend only, top designers from New York and LA are live in store with exclusive collections you can't find anywhere else. The sparkle, the savings, the moment. Don't miss it. Only through Sunday, only at Diamonds Direct. Appointments are filling fast. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
If a storm impacts our area, JEA is ready to respond. Our team of over 2,000 employees is prepared to move in when the storm moves on. Once restoration efforts begin, we won't stop until everyone is back online. And we'll keep you informed with real-time updates at JEA.com and the MyJEA app. We're ready for storm season and want you to be too. Visit JEA.com/storm to learn what you can do now to prepare.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and book your space today.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Hope everyone's enjoying their Friday out there. And you know what? We'll make it just a little bit sweeter. We've got a family 4-pack of tickets to go see the Jaguars' first preseason game playing host to the Steelers Saturday, August 9th. So not this Saturday, but next, kicking off at 7 p.m. If you want to go and take your family of 4, be caller number 4 at 641-1010. Caller number 4, 904-641-1010. All right, Tom, you mentioned the running backs. Which running back to you stood out the most today?
I got to go Bigsby.
Yeah.
And then ETN. ETN showed it. Now, the only thing about ETN, the ball getting punched out at the end.
Yes.
Now, in his, I
He
can't
probably
even
thought the play was completely dead.
He did, but
Yeah.
you can't.
Okay.
That's
and
the lesson.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
I love the takeaway part, though.
Well, the great part is that Jarian Jones didn't give up on the play and aimed for the ball.
Yeah.
So I think Campanelli is
Forcing
point of
those
emphasis.
turnovers.
Punch it out when you can. So it's a good lesson, right? And look, if the play was over, but at the same time, you just can't do it, right? Don't assume. Just like the defender, don't assume that he's down or that he's going to get tackled. Make sure that he's down. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I love Tuten. I love the way that he explodes up through the hole. He's got great vision. Him and Tank are a lot alike, a little built differently. You know, Tuten's a little thicker in the lower half, not as tall. Tank's not that much taller. I don't mean it like that, but they both kind of run a little bit the same way. You know, very vertical, but seeing the field well. And by the way, in defense of Travis, he busted one later, and nobody was going to catch him. That's one of the most explosive runs I've seen him do in a long time. Do you agree?
Yeah, that's what my answer was going to be ETN. I think that I saw so many good things from ETN today, and we were talking about the screen game. We saw a lot of that today, but then along the he caught several along the sideline too. That was kind of like tic-tac-toe, tap the toes right before he gets out. One was it might have been a touchdown or right before the end zone. So I love seeing stuff like that. Number one, I'm glad we're seeing the running backs into this and getting included into the passing game. But that, and then, he broke out with that one. There was a few good runs that I saw him break a couple tackles. I'm putting that in quotes early on. And so my eyes were focused on ETN a lot, and I really liked a lot of the things that I was seeing today.
Yeah, he's not going down without a fight. I tell you that. That's why they're all running hungry right now. And by the way, number 38, the kid from Arkansas,
Jaquindon Jackson.
I want to see him in pads. He's going to be a bruiser. Now, I don't know. He's not going to vie for time, I don't think. But he looks like he can steamroll some people. And he may not be the fastest, but he looks pretty big. And then, of course, Hines-Allen out of the backfield. He looks a little slender to me. You know what I mean? Like he could use a year in the weight room almost. But again, all you hear about how tough he was at Syracuse. A very physical player, physical blocker, physical runner, and really good out of the backfield. So you got 5 guys right there. That should be fun room to really watch.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good day for Tank Bigsby. That would be my answer. I do think that Travis Etienne, to your point, is battling. Like, he knows it's a contract year for him, and he also knows that he has all the talent. And I'm sure that he has focused a lot of time, too, in spending more time with Trevor. Yeah. Like, off the field, we saw them practicing at Episcopal, and I do think that they probably, this is my guess, or my opinion, I should say, I think they kind of relied on the chemistry that they had at Clemson, and they didn't feel like they probably needed to work more extra. On that. That's just what I think from my vantage point. And so I think it's good that they've done a little bit of that off-field stuff. But Bhayshul Tuten, I keep waiting for it to be like his practice. Like for everyone to come away just completely wowed with his speed and his skill set. Speaking of,
I just stare at his thighs. Like his thighs they're so muscular. Every time he walks by, I'm like, okay, that can run some people.
Powerful, he does not need more time in the weight room. In other words, speaking of Bhayshul Tuten, his head coach, Brent Pry, joined Josie earlier this week at ACC kickoff. And here he is on the running back.
They're probably realizing now how fortunate they are that they took him. He is an outstanding young man. He's a very just diverse back. I mean, he's a well-rounded back. He's tough. He's fast. He's explosive. He can make you miss. He can, run through you. He can outrun you. He's a returner. He improved his ball skills. He's improved his pass pro. I think he's got a chance to have a nice career there.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Not today, but 2 days ago, he had a couple really good runs, and he showed his speed. It's funny today. Did you see when he tried to break out and Travis Hunter just kind of cut him off. Like he actually, you can tell too, like tried to put on like just a little bit of some explosive like jets, and then Travis just came over. He's like just like a horse steering a cattle, like going like no, you're going out of bounds. They both started laughing like there was no way he was gonna get past them. But yeah, man, he's got some wheels and some explosiveness. Him and Tank, they both do. And again, ETN look good. I'll tell you about what you said about DTN in the passing game. Him in the slot, those quick throws. If the ball can get to him before he gets to the sideline, so he doesn't have to tap, that he can turn it up.
Yeah.
That's when the ball has to get to him. It can't wait till you. Now, you do have to clear. You have the slants coming. You have to clear. I understand that. But you got to get it to him so he catches it in stride, can turn up. That's when ETN can be really dangerous in the passing game.
Oh, yeah.
And who's going to cover him in the slot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I think that there's such an advantage to the group of running backs you have, and that's why we've said it a million times. It's going to be so interesting to follow this through camp, but it's going to even be more interesting how they game plan week to week, because obviously when it comes to certain teams, when we talk about their run defenses, how much do they navigate those things, and are we seeing a little bit of a heavier rotation until they really find that true one, and do we see that for a little bit? Because right now it looks like all three of these guys can do certain things at a very high level and certain other things they need a little bit more help with. So how does that all shake out the first few weeks of the regular season is going to be really fun to watch too.
Yeah, I feel like, Tom, Liam Cohen is back in his offices now, like planning Sunday's practice, because we know he plans that every second for Travis Hunter, but also for these running backs. Like, how is he going to figure out who is going to be the most prominently featured running back when he does have so many different guys?
Yeah, because when pads come on, you are going to want to see each of them with the ones, because you're going to want to see them behind the line that you are going to be starting in front of Trevor, and you're going to want them to have that opportunity and start getting that cohesiveness with Trevor too. So all of them are going to have to get reps at that spot, but how do you plan it between if you have 3 or 4 guys?
Well, you're gonna see it on the field. Now let's look. We see them break out, but they're not in pads, so they could have been tackled at the line of scrimmage. They just were let go, or somebody didn't. They tap. They didn't wrap them or stop them. On a couple of those runs, though, they were getting pretty physical. The running back didn't go anywhere. So I think you're going to see when the pads come on, you're going to see a couple things: who's physical, who can pick up the blitz, and who secures that football. That's going to be a big one. And listen, pray for all 3 of them or all of them. Just don't put the ball on the ground, because you're going to hurt yourself as far as where you stand with the team. So let's everyone have an even playing field, and let's see who the best man is, because I'd hate it to go down to, well, this guy, he's dropping a ball.
Hit the ground.
I don't want that. I don't want that. I hope they all can secure that football.
I agree. Another battle, I think, is backup quarterback. I would imagine that Nick Mullins is the QB2 on the depth chart. But I do think, and I thought he had a good practice today.
Today he did.
But I did think that other days there have been, whether it's Wolford or Seth Hennigan, that have looked a little bit better than Mullins had. So it was good for me to see that today, because I've been wondering, like, who is going to emerge as QB2, which does matter around here when you had the injuries to Trevor that you have.
Well, I tell you what, he didn't have a good day yesterday.
Yeah,
he threw a couple picks. Antonio Johnson was one, and then number 40 at the end. It was at the very last play of practice, picked him off as well.
Aiden White.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. But today, Mullins bounced back. He threw a beautiful ball in the red zone, in the corner of the end zone. It was a beautiful throw, beautiful catch for a score. He threw a couple others. So I think he bounced back today. I mean, look, he's here because why? Grant Udinski from the Vikings. Want to make and he's been around a while, so he's a good backup, I'm sure. Yeah. He knows the backup role. It's to support the starter, make sure the starter's comfortable, make sure the starter's good, and when called upon, you know what to do and you don't screw up the football game, right? Yeah. So I think what it did show, that he resilient and bounced back from a bad day yesterday and a good day today.
Yeah, which that's what you want to see. You don't want to see a bad day happen and then a spiral happen, because that's the last thing you want. And talking to people, it seems like the quarterback room, the backup quarterback room at least, they wanted guys that they felt could really understand the playbook. And so when it comes to the QB knowledge side of it and the IQ, the football IQ, they're going for guys that have that, because I think that Liam Cohen's playbook is so intricate and there's a lot of pieces to it. Now, which one can match up to Trevor's the kind of play the way Trevor does too, because if Trevor goes down, you don't want to all of a sudden have to switch your entire offense because they can't run at the same speed or have those deep balls. So that's when things start to become important too. And I think that's when the QB, that backup spot, will really start to shake out.
I felt that Trevor was a little frustrated today at the end. You know, I watched when when we were upstairs doing the show, getting ready to do the show, the quarterbacks coming together with the quarterback coach, and he just did, you know, you could tell that something was bothering him. I don't that interception probably bothered him. Yep. They haven't connected deep yet. He's fine. It's not like he's not doing his thing.
I'm glad to see the frustration, honestly. I was glad to see Brian Thomas get frustrated today.
Yeah. So
like you've set a high standard for yourselves in this passing offense, and you're not reaching it, and guys like Cephas and Pankel had better days than they did.
Cephas summer for sure.
And we need the offense to start clicking. You know what I mean? They're not clicking yet. Fully, and the defense is. That's why the defense is ahead. Now, with pads, it should equalize it out, and they should. But what we're looking for, and I know they are too, of course they want the defense to do well, but they want this offense to look like it's ready to score a bunch of points.
They want it to look like the Bucs offense.
Yeah,
I mean, that's if we're modeling.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence and the offense is number one. Yes, you got the defense. That's why you're putting it in the hands of Anthony Campanile and his staff. But that offense, it's got to work. It's got to be a very high productive and efficient offense for this season to go well.
Yeah, and I think on Coach Camp's side, obviously defensively, you're just saying, hey, I want my defense to be good enough to where if the offense can't score, we can still win games. That's the mindset over there, which
should be.
Is great, and I love that. But to your point, Tommy, Baker Mayfield had 44 touchdowns last year. That is the mindset that people want to start seeing here, scoring, not like, oh, maybe can you get 21 touchdowns? It has to start shifting at some point, and not saying that Trevor because some of those were also rushing, because obviously Baker will run a lot. And we've all said we want to see Trevor run more too. And so we will see how much we even see of that before the year starts going. But you have to get this offense scoring points, because you're not going to win a lot of games anymore if you're not.
We didn't have a show yesterday, by the way, to talk about the Justin Fields thing, but that happened while we were out of practice fields. We all get this notification that Justin Fields is carted into the locker room, and you just feel for Jets fans and people like Taylor who are in Justin Fields' corner. And then today he's back out on the practice field.
And they're like, it was a dislocated toe.
So he's okay. But those moments, even today, Brian Thomas Jr. went down for a second, but he's perfectly fine. Liam Cohen said that after practice. But there are those moments. And can you imagine if Trevor Lawrence was carted to the locker room and practice? I'm not even going to say that.
I know.
I didn't say that. Strip that off the record. But glad to see at least that Justin Fields is okay.
Yeah, and this is the time where those things, I mean, it's always, you never want an injury. But during camp, and especially they were like non-contact, so that's what people first of all started assuming and posting that it was an Achilles before
but it had to be
was
contact
ever.
Because somebody stepped on his foot.
So they said because it didn't look like contact, and I heard them talking about it on one of the stations this morning. It didn't look like, because he wasn't hit. It was just someone barely stepped by and got like a piece of his toe. So from first glance,
you'd be like, that was contact.
I felt it, but it wasn't like a hit or someone ran back. It was just so they thought it was non-contact. And then when he got to the cart and they were examining, he's like, no, someone stepped on me, and they were like, oh, okay.
Which with dislocations, they'll put it back in place. I'm sure that they did that yesterday.
He was back today, so
give him an injection into the joint. He'll be fine. And there's nothing worse. Look, I got hurt in the first week of camp in '97. Tore my ACL, and the worst part about it is you spent all off season working your butt up. Your head feeling great, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's over. So when I saw that news, I was like, oh man, because again, you don't, unless they're playing us, we bury them into the ground, but. Otherwise, I don't want to see somebody get hurt like that, man. I want to see Justin Fields have a good year. I'm in your. I think we've talked about it. I wouldn't have. No disrespect to Caleb, but I would have kept Justin Fields and built around that. We'll see who made the right decision, but I hope Justin, has a good year, man. He's, every quarterback's trying to make it. It's not. We see it here. It's not easy. It's not easy. No matter how much talent you have, it's just not that easy.
Yeah, especially with bad surrounding situations.
Yeah, for sure.
One other quarterback note. I saw that Joe Burrow is planning to play a lot more this preseason to try and eliminate those slow starts that the Bengals have.
Okay.
So I find that interesting since, of course, the Jaguars play the Bengals early in the season.
Yeah.
Not the preseason, but in the regular season. Do you think that'll change, Tom, like how the Bengals do if Joe Burrow's out there for more minutes in the preseason?
Well, it's just all about chemistry and timing. But he's got T and Chase.
That's what I was about to say. I don't think they were losing because of Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but listen, if Joe says he wants to play more in the preseason, Joe will play. Yeah,
but also be careful because you've also had some injuries multiple times in your career too.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I get it. Like Joe Burrow, that if you get anything, and I haven't watched, Lauren, you have watched the QB show, but. If you've the glimpses of Joe Burrow, he's very competitive, and he gets mad when they're winning only by 10 because he feels like they should be winning by 20. Right. That's the type of person he is. So, but I guess when you look, let's say like last year, the first 3 weeks, he had 5 touchdowns and no picks in his first 3 games. So I'm not quite sure it's Joe Burrow's
I think
fault.
the thing is too, there's only 3 games. That third game you don't play. So after you play that second game, you're not really playing for like 3 weeks. Yeah. It feels 2-3 weeks, and that's a long time to get rusty.
Yeah,
you can get rusty.
Do you think the head coach will come back on the flight from Cincinnati? The Jaguars play the Bengals in week 2.
Let's hope so.
Oh my gosh, what a dummy!
I will say yes. Liam Cohen will be on the team plane on the way back.
Like Liam Cohen spotted at Urban Meyer's bar.
Don't go anywhere near there, Liam.
Taylor, don't put that out there, man.
All right, on the other side, Taylor Dahl has a tangent. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on Tuten XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Covered by Lee and Kate's Glass.
New look, same great service.
I was born a Jags fan, and I'm Duval till I die.
1010XL, where Jaguars fans roar.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds with as much as 40% off everything in the store. Maybe it's time to treat yourself to a fabulous fashion ring, necklace, or bracelet. You can do it now and save as much as 40% off Beard's already unbeatable prices. And don't forget, Beard's is the town center's locally owned diamond superstore. Don't settle for the corporate chain store experience when you can get the value, service, and attention you deserve. Don't miss Christmas in July. Save up to 40% exclusively at Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
1010XL is excited to support an evening of all-star fun as comedian David Spade joins MC and Gator basketball great Patrick Young to induct Olympic swimmers Nancy Hogshead and Ryan Murphy, golf legend Jim Furyk, and the iconic Lizard King into the Sawyer Sports Foundation's Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships. Saturday, July 26th at the Community First Igloo. For single ticket and table sponsorship, go to JacksonvilleIceman.com.
At Tucker Equipment Rental in Neptune Beach, you just don't rent quality machines, you rent quality customer service. Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Dave. Tucker Equipment Rental has been supplying Jacksonville with equipment and event rental for over 50 years.
From commercial and homeowner projects, we've got what you need: lifts, dirt equipment, and landscape equipment.
And don't forget about event rentals, from festivals to weddings to backyard barbecues.
Local, knowledgeable, and always ready to help.
Tucker Equipment Rentals.
You need it, we've got it, come see us.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is poured at Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Enjoy craft for $12.99 a pound on Tuesdays. Drink Brackish Wednesdays with $1 oyster on the half shell. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka made right here in Jacksonville for whatever your sport is. If your sport is crab at Southern Coast, your vodka is Brackish. Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Frank Franzi here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville's full of memorable sports moments. Remember Tiger Woods' 60-foot putt on the iconic 17th? Gary Coate called it better than most. Better than most. Well, Coil Fencing is better than most. They're better than all. Coil has been that for nearly 100 years. So if you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today. That's at 904-356-4821 or visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Big personalities, bold opinions. Lunch just got louder. Josie, Matt, and Leon are XL Prime Time from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Any questions? Yeah, what's lunch?
Game to 2 on 1010XL.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take the field this Saturday. Kickoff at 7. Tickets start at just $15. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Ask about the Sharks 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card, all for only $100. It's Military Appreciation Night, presented by True Vet Solutions. All current and former military can purchase a special buy one, get one free ticket deal. Join us on the field after the game for a jersey auction and autograph session, sponsored by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectible. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Between the historic rookie season Brian Thomas Jr. put on tape last year and the addition of both Travis Hunter and Diami Brown, the wide receiver room has some big-time talent. Someone who can slip through the cracks at times, but is extremely talented and efficient when his number is called, is Parker Washington, as Coach Cohen talked about the impact he's had so far after practice.
I've been pleased with Parker, man. I think if you're talking about guys that's gone up and made plays when the ball's been in the air, he's done it. You know, he's got the right mindset. He approaches work the right way every day. He's strong. You know, he can kind of work second-level releases on people when they try to get hands on him. I've been very pleased with Parker the last few days.
It's 92 degrees at 2:59 time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It almost doesn't feel right to bring up a serious topic when we listen to music like this. Happy Friday, everybody. But Josh Hines-Allen let everyone know that 7 months ago, his son Wesley was diagnosed with leukemia.
Aww.
And yeah, so now they are creating 41 for All Foundation. Obviously, his number is 41.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Hines-Allen posted on X that they'll be launching that to give back to cancer-focused nonprofits every month of the NFL regular season. Every family deserves to feel the love that he felt. Thanks. He appreciates the team at Nemours, and his young son, from all I can tell, is doing a lot better now. And so
good.
It's so difficult. Obviously, we talk about the Tom Coughlin J Fund and everything that they do for our community.
Yep.
I can't imagine hearing the words that your child has cancer. No. You never want to imagine it. I remember we had a family in during a radiothon one day, and the guy said, I used to listen to the station, and every year I would hear about the radiothon, and I'd donate for the J Fund. He's like, and then one year my kid was the one diagnosed with cancer. And the J Fund took on a whole new meaning. But yeah, just thoughts and prayers certainly with the Hines-Allen family, everything that they've been going through, and wishing certainly all the best of luck and success now, and health, I should say, for Josh's son, Wesley. All right, time now for Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
Side note, really quick, Lauren, did you hear that the Big Dez was put on the pup list because he's too big?
I did at 400 and something pounds. My dad asked me that last night. I was like, no, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he is going to be a good pass rusher from the interior, or at least stop the run from the interior. Maybe not pass rush.
Roll over
at 450 pounds. Like I wish he was on our team.
They said because I guess 464 when they hit camp, like the beginning rookie mini camp, and then so they asked him to get to a certain weight. He didn't get to that weight, but he got down to 450. But they said they still need a little bit more weight loss for him for them to see what he can be able to do. But I was like, you drafted a guy who played at 465 all last year
in the SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But it's
I don't know.
he's
You know what you got out of him. And listen, for a big dude, he can move a little bit. So I don't know about pass rushing, but you're going to be tough to move him off the line of scrimmage. I know that.
The running backs are going to bounce backwards if they run.
Seriously. And obviously they knew, he went undrafted or did
undrafted?
Yeah, okay. So they didn't necessarily draft him, but they certainly knew in talking to him and throughout the process to talking to people in Gainesville, he's obviously always struggled with making a certain weight. There have been
he's a big dude.
Issues with that. But I hope that he gets into an NFL game this season and that we can see what he can do.
The reports I was saying show unlikely he'll make the Bucs roster, so we'll see if someone snags him if he doesn't, just to have a big body, if you want a big body.
Push?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
switch
the
him
thing.
to the other side or against
do
the
both.
tush push.
Do both. Like he could be your two-way player. Tush pushing for and against.
All right, for my tangent brought to you by Chick-fil-A, I'm going to switch over to college football for a little bit, and I'm going to take a second to just bash the Big Ten for a minute.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Which I feel like we did a little bit already when it came to them trying to fight with the college football playoff, the way they want it, the way they want it set up compared to the SEC and all the numbers they want, the 4 to whatever, all that long thing. But
4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1, I think.
Yeah, something crazy, whatever, too much. But there's 3 coaches I'm going to call out that are all in the Big Ten right now. And I'm going to start with Indiana coach. And I'm sorry for this because I do like Cignetti. I'm a Kirk Cignetti fan. I don't hate Indiana. But some of the comments that were coming out of the Big Ten media days, which obviously they just had out in Vegas, Matt Hayes was out there. And so there was a lot of...
Our home away from home, you mean Vegas?
Yeah, pretty much for football season for us. But yeah, so he took a shot at the SEC. And in his defense, he was defending the cancellation, first of all, because there was a cancellation between their non-conference series against Virginia. So he said, his quote was, "We figured we'd adopt an SEC scheduling philosophy," was his thing. And so in part, I get it. The Big Ten has 9 conference games they have to play. The SEC only has 8. That's been one of these big things we've been talking about. And the SEC are only required to play 9 power conference games. And so he was kind of taking a shot at that side of it. But Indiana, to get to the college football playoff last year, didn't have to beat a single top 25 team to get there. Granted, some were ranked preseason. That's why I have also done tangents on how I hate preseason rankings because I feel like they're fake. But so while they played that team, the team was never ranked when they were playing. They didn't have to beat a ranked team at the point of time when they were playing them to reach the college football playoff.
Or they played Ohio State when Ohio State certainly was ranked, but they lost.
Yes, yeah, they lost by double digits. And so then they lost to double digits in 2 of their last 3 games when granted it was against Ohio State and Notre Dame, the 2 national championship teams. But the moment you get your chance to prove, and I think right around that time, he made the comment, Cignetti also made the comment about kind of push top 25 chatter, like we can take on anybody, including top 25 teams, because they were looking back and some of the teams that they had beat were previously ranked in the top 25. So there were some weird things about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call out the SEC when it comes to schedules, would be my advice there, Kurt. But also, like, the Big Ten came up with the fact that they were going to play 9 conference games.
They were the ones who did that.
No one in the NCAA
you guys
forced
voted,
you.
like they voted on that.
Yeah, I get to choose what I eat for lunch. I can't then blame Taylor for what I eat for lunch.
My stomach hurts now. Yeah. So that was person number 1. Number 2, James Franklin. I can't stand James Franklin. He's one of my least favorite people. But coach-wise, I don't know him personally like that. I don't have the Aaron Rodgers hatred for James Franklin. But he's constantly complaining about the same things when it comes to conference scheduling. And again, this was your conference that chose to play these 9 games, and every single year he complains about it. Every single year he complains about the Notre Dame being independent still, and they're still being independent schools. And it's always, how about you worry about your important games because you're 4-19 against top 10 teams, and he's 1-18 against top 5 opponents. So how about win an important game, and then we can actually listen to anything you have to say having to do with college football as a whole.
You only made the college football playoff, Penn State, because it went from 4 teams to 12 teams. And yes, I can say that because
Yeah.
my team didn't make the college football playoff even with the expansion. But you didn't make it when it was only 4.
While he was crying about the conference scheduling, Notre Dame swiped a 4-star quarterback from Penn State. So have fun.
Booyah.
James Franklin.
Just win.
Yeah, just win. And that's what, so the third coach I'm going to complain about is Lincoln Riley. He continues to duck the Notre Dame versus USC conversation. Marcus Freeman's been very vocal about this is a rivalry that's been going on forever. This is college football. We need to keep this. They play this year in 2025. They don't have anything planned for 2026 and beyond yet. And so when they were asked about it, his quote was, they asked if he wanted to comment on it, and he said, "We will at the appropriate time." Is his how about at Big Ten Media Days?
Yeah, right.
Look, Lincoln Riley and USC even being in the Big Ten is still a strange thing that has occurred. Yeah, Oregon, UCLA, like all those teams. But I love that tangent, Taylor, because I do feel like everyone picks on the SEC. Like everybody's anti-SEC, and unless you're a fan of the SEC, because people say they cheer within their own conference for other teams. Yeah, and it's like, but have you not figured out that if your teams within your conference are really good, then the better the conference does financially. So Florida makes more money if Georgia and Texas and Tennessee all make the college football playoff.
Right.
And had Alabama and South Carolina and Ole Miss also made it, not all of the 3, but one of those teams, Florida would have made more money this year. So that's why people cheer for teams within their own conference.
And that's like everything about when it comes to this, and not saying James Franklin has specifically spoken on the money side of things, but both conferences, when it comes to all of them, let's say every conference, when it comes to the decisions they make, they're thinking about their conference financially. That's kind of what things have turned into, rather than these old rivalries and rather than, the loyalty to a program and all of that stuff for players and for coaches and for the higher up. It's kind of turned into a money thing because you have to have money now to pay players, and you have to have money to do a lot of things. And so in that same sentence, like, you're defending this because you know that your conference will make more money and what you guys think it should be the future plan. But then you're bashing Notre Dame, who made double the money of everybody else because they're not in a conference and got to get money every single round of the college football playoff. And so they're also looking out for themselves. Yep. So it's just, he speaks out of both sides, and it drives me insane. And he was like, I've been saying this for 10 years. And I'm like, okay, but you were also on the other side for a while too, and you didn't feel like you wanted to be very vocal about it then.
I feel like down the road, the best of the SEC and the Big Ten are going to join some kind of deal. See,
I don't think that anymore.
20 years, 10 years, whatever it is. I mean, who's deeper
what do you mean,
than
those
the
two
SEC?
those two
They're
combining,
taking the best.
Yeah. I don't think
I don't
that's
want
good
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Vandy, Tony out there, but I don't want Vandy in my new conference.
That's
good
where
for
the other
baseball.
sports start to come in.
Correct.
I think.
Kentucky's really good at basketball. I hope, and certainly for the sake of college football, that we get to the Power 4, Power 5 conferences. All the realignment eventually is over. And we just have a college football playoff that works for most people, works for most of the teams. And to me, again, the way to do that is to come up with metrics and to have a legitimate college football playoff that's not with a committee, but it's based off of the certain wins that you got. And the more teams with big wins, those teams go in the college football playoff. Yeah. And to me, when you have a lot of different teams too, year in and year out, you spark interest from other clubs. The reason, for instance, Major League Baseball expanded its postseason is they wanted more cities and more fan bases, more teams to be in it down the stretch. And that's the cool part now that we have 12 teams. And if we get to 16, then more teams are going to be involved late.
I just think you can trim the fat on some of these conferences. You know what I mean? You don't need some of these teams. For football, I'm talking. Maybe you're right. You're obviously right for different sports and that kind of thing. But
was BC trimmed football, or does BC make it?
Not in the SEC Big Ten, I wouldn't. No, maybe if the ACC came up with their own, I'd keep them in there for sure. But I don't know, like Rutgers. What are you gonna do with Rutgers? No, that's my dad's alma mater. Sorry, Dad, but what are you gonna do with them? I don't know how many people are going out of their way to see Rutgers. I don't know.
Well, we talked about with the college football
you could trim some
and the
of that.
blue chip ratio last week. There are 18 teams according to that ratio that can win the cultural playoff and the national championship. So I guess really, in theory, you only need 18 teams and you just go from there. But obviously, in the ecosystem of college football, you need a team like a Long Island for Florida to start with. And not that every team starts with a cupcake. Florida does in this instance.
Why do you need, though? Why? Why do you need that?
I say need.
They need it because they make money.
Correct.
Yeah.
The ecosystem for Long Island.
Okay,
they
I
need
got you.
it.
You're right. And
they
do
can't
get
have a
paid.
football program
Yeah,
unless
they
they
get
make
money.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Then
For
that does
getting a
help
little
them out.
embarrassed, they can.
Yeah, we'll take a slap for $500,000. Thank you.
Yeah, there are.
Can I have another?
I would
We'll be
bet
back
it's more
next
like
year.
$1 million, honestly. All right, we've got lunch to give away.
We do. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 2. You get free lunch to Chick-fil-A.
There we go. I want everyone to hear a comment from Jack Kaiser and Robert Hainsey. Hacker caught up with both of them. That is on the other side, as well as today's Terminex Pest of the Day. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass, Friday on Helmets and Heels.
And now, the starting lineup.
The Drill Mornings. Jaguars today, 10 to noon. Helmets and Heels. Noon to 2. XL Primetime. 2 to 4. The Frangie Show. 4 to 6. Into the night with Rick Ballou and Hacker After Dark. Evenings on 1010 XL.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Training camp is upon us, so that means football season is here, and I have to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever you have clutter and it's taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. That's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's the little things like a peach milkshake on a warm day that makes summer sweet. And now you can head to your local Chick-fil-A and enjoy a favorite summer treat again. Hand-spun the old-fashioned way, this refreshing milkshake features Chick-fil-A ice cream and peaches. It's the perfect cold treat to enjoy outside on a warm day or with friends and family after dinner. And now it's here for just a limited time, so swing by your local Chick-fil-A and treat yourself today.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com. Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
In late July, Florida There's unforgiving heat beats down on the practice field. Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL. Covered by Greenacre Sporting Goods and Roland Reach Plumbing.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Friday afternoon, fresh off the practice field. Practice number 3 in the books for the Jacksonville Jaguars as training camp is underway. I want to let you hear both from Jack Kaiser, the linebacker, and Robert Hainsey, the offensive lineman. Hacker caught up with both of them this week. And I thought, we'll start with Robert Hainsey, RJ. I thought his comments about Trevor Lawrence were really interesting. Here is the center on trying to help his quarterback.
Yeah, I think I think it's really helpful that this is an offense I've been in for a year already. I think that I can help him a lot in there, especially in the run game. So maybe take a little bit off his plate because he's going to have a lot. We started snapping together, talking, hanging out, working together all in the beginning of OTAs, and I was like, hey, we should get this stuff going before we walk out on the field. So it's not the first time. And honestly, it doesn't. At this point, it just feels normal. He's the quarterback. I'm the center. We have a really good relationship. It's been fun getting to know him and getting to help him grow, and it's the same for him to me. So it's been really good.
No one ever talks about Trevor and the offensive lineman working off the practice field. Like we talk about Trevor throwing with the wide receivers and Travis Etienne and things like that. But that relationship is so important. And I think people do forget, because he was benched probably, that Robert Hainsey understands this offense better than anyone else probably on that field.
Yeah, and it's very important for him to help with the line calls and running game and pass game, and to take a little bit off of Trevor. I just want to see if he's very athletic. I saw him pull, so he can move. He's good. He's got good athleticism. I just want to see him, move people. He's gonna have to go against some big boys on our D line and to start with. And I know from what James Gladstone said about him last year, he had that one start and he played really well, and finishing blocks and loves football and all that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. You know, he's not massive. You know, he's not, but not a lot of centers are. But like, and it's not fair because you look at like Jason Kelsey's a big guy. Like he's 6'4", 300 pounds, and who's like when you look at him, like that's a big, powerful.
You already know
being.
the position he plays when you look at him.
And Robert's big. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not trying to say that, but I just want to see him in pads in football and see how he can really block it up. And hopefully it's a great signing. Right, we've had great centers on this team for a long time. Meester, Wade, you go back to Wydell and Cheever in a short period of time. You know, you got Linder, who was a great center. I mean, we've had some really good centers, so we know how important that position is. So hopefully, Robert, he'll help him mentally, and then if he gets it together physically with the guards, we got something good there.
Speaking of big men, I forgot to mention Hulk Hogan passed away yesterday.
I know.
And
Thunderlips.
You sent us the video of Rocky Thunderlips.
That was the best. I don't know. What were you like? Were you even born then in 1982?
Nope.
I was born in
90.
Yeah, I remember that. I was 12 years old. I was like, holy cow, Thunderlips. First, I was scared of Mr. T. Mr. T was scary. Holy God, you're like Clubber Lang. Oh my gosh, I can't even look at him. He scared me through the screen. And then here comes Thunderlips in the flesh.
Thunderlips. Who's scarier, Mr. T or James Harrison?
Oh, that's a good one-on-one. James would be,
For people who don't know, James Harrison played for the Steelers. And
I would never pick against James Harrison just in case I ever ran into him and he heard me say.
Yeah, his neck is probably the biggest, thickest neck I've ever seen.
Yeah. He still trains like he's playing. I mean, he's still moving a lot of weight
muscle,
around.
Yeah. Puts mine to shame, that's for sure. All right, one more here from Hacker. Thanks to Hacker and everybody out there doing interviews. Hacker caught up with Jack Kaiser, the former Notre Dame linebacker, now, of course, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and talked about going up against the speed of this offense.
Yeah, it's been awesome, right? Like, we got a lot of speed, a lot of explosion, right? And so there's some times where we take a lot of pride in as a defense and not letting a ball go over our head, and that's really tough against these guys. And so we got to play our best and make sure we're on all of our details every single day and try to put that on display out here.
I like that. I mean, they've done a good job of not letting the ball go over their head. So if that's what they're focusing on, good job.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, he in the red zone, he had a delayed blitz. It might have been like a coverage thing where his guy blocked and then you hug up on him. They call it a hug up thing, and then you just go for the quarterback. His closing speed was impressive. He got to Mullins pretty quickly. It might have been at least a hit. You can't say it was a sack or anything, but he definitely he read it right and he made the right move and then got there quick. Again, it's just adjusting to the speed of the lineman. It's different at the NFL level, but you can adjust to it. You can adapt to it. And once you figure out how to navigate through the muck, as I call it, and get to that back, he should be fine. I think, listen, they're making these guys earn every bit of it. There's no matter where you're at, other than Travis, because he's special. We all know who he is, but other than Travis, there's nothing being handed. And Wyatt's not handed any job. Ranshaw's not handed any job. They're going to make sure that everybody earns their spot, and that's a really good thing, man, because you want your guys. Oh, yeah. The guys they brought in, they're guys. There's 20 of them, free agent, draft picks, and then rookie free agent, all the whatever that number is. Those are the new regime's guys, and they want as many as those guys to make the team as they possibly can, but they're going to make everybody earn it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think when we were talking, I want to say early last week about the position groups that we are confident in, and we are kind of having that conversation. And I'm excited about the linebacker room as a whole. I think that obviously you know what Foye Oluokun can do, and he's just one of those guys that even today watching, it's Foye's in it every single play. No matter what's going on, you're seeing Foye Oluokun there. And even when he's not involved directly, afterwards he's talking to whatever linebackers beside him. And we saw some different things happening with that.
By the way, he joined the drill this morning too.
Yeah.
So great job again.
He's great. I love Foye. And so when you have obviously that Ventrell, what you saw of glimpses of Ventrell, a lot of people, Devin Lloyd, when it comes to the capabilities of Devin Lloyd, I know the coverage thing has been the biggest critique on him, but outside of that, there's a lot of really good things out of Devin Lloyd. Yeah. And then they spent more draft picks on more linebackers to make sure that you had this depth that you feel confident in. And it's one of the rooms I'm more excited about. I'm more confident in depth-wise than I am in some of the other position groups.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, Abdullah's won. Like, early first couple of days, he was out there a lot. Today, just a little bit. I know they're moving people around, so, and for the record, that's an emotionally, mentally tough thing to do. Like, you're playing, you feel like you're doing something, then they're like, you're barely going to play the next day. You're not going to be that many reps. You're just like, man, I'm missing out. It's really tough to keep that all together. McLeod, I don't know yet. I haven't seen enough.
Yeah.
Ventrell looks good. He had a nice pop today. And listen, they've been physical. By the way, Devin yesterday at practice, he dislodged that tight end from the ball. They've been physical without pads, which I like, man. That means when the pads come on, they're going to be even more physical.
And Liam said post practice that the guys are itching to get in pads. Like they feel like they
want to hit somebody.
Yeah, shorts, and helmets now for quite some time, and they're absolutely ready for those pads to pop because you have to say the pads are popping. That's just the cliche you have to say.
Now is for the guys that are trying to make the team and trying to be a starter. Now is when you make your move. Now is when you've got to stand out. You're in pads. There's no more excuses. Like, you got to go make plays now. You got to stack them up. Like, when we were interviewing Caleb, I said, you've been making plays every day. You're stacking them up. I see you're making plays on the ball. You keep stacking those up. It's tough to keep you off the field, man.
Yeah.
It's just, it's that old eye test. Who's making plays? Well, there they are. You see them every single day. So
I liked his confidence with y'all today, too. Caleb's confidence, Bransaw's confidence.
Well, that's the youth, right? They all think they're
He's
the
greatest fastest. He'll end up with the most
interceptions. When you want the swag.
Go
you want
for
the swag, right?
Heck yeah. All right, time now for today's Terminex Pest of the Day. As always, brought to you by our friends at Terminex. They, as always, take care of our house, Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and so many of your favorite event venues around town. They are the absolute best. You can find them online at Terminex.com. It's TERMINIX.com if you have any issues with pests, with termites. Certainly, if you want your yard mosquito-free, they will come and spray and bring you equipment. It is absolutely amazing, and it has changed the ability for us to sit outside in the evenings. All right, today's Terminex Pest of the Day, a similar vein to Taylor's tangent.
James Franklin.
No, it is college football related. Someone was not telling the truth. Back in April, ESPN reported that Nico Iamaleava wanted more than $2.4 million that Tennessee was currently paying him. The reports were that he wanted closer to $4 million. But yesterday, when Nico met with the media at Big Ten Media Days, he said that those reports were false and that he wanted to be closer to his family. So I'm not sure who was lying, whether it was ESPN's reporting, which I highly doubt, or whether it was Nico saying that those reports were false.
Well, listen, I think he's telling the truth. He's like, 2.4, I want to be with my family. With an additional 1.6, I can wait on seeing the family in the offseason. Yeah, give me up to $4 million and I'll stick. But that's an interesting story.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
Josh Heupel.
Somebody had a conversation. They were like, we got to shift this. If you use family, people feel sad for you sometimes.
Yeah. So. Josh Heupel, there's no chance that he would have moved on the way he did from Nico if Nico and the way he acted to at the press conference right after that. Like, there's no way he acted like that if it is just a family thing. So Nico, for people who don't remember, he was at Tennessee, was the starting quarterback, and yes, was going to be getting over $8 million for his 4 years there at Tennessee. Right. And then he just up and left one day before spring practice and moved on to UCLA.
Wasn't there like a gap between that two, though? He said he was leaving, and then it was kind of like who's going to take him, and then it ended up being UCLA, and everybody was like, nobody even wanted you, and now you have to go to. Yeah, so there was like a period of time in between.
All right, listen. If I sign a 4-year, $8 million deal to go to college, how am I going to class? I mean, seriously. I mean, how am I going to go? I'll never go. I'll be like, no. Why would I go? Unless they make me go. So you got to wonder, the schools like just let it go, like whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand how that works.
You know what I mean?
Because when I worked at UNF,
it's like your D minuses.
Yeah, you got by. When I worked at UNF,
take 5 D minuses all day long, for $8 million.
Heck yeah, we had a compliance department, and part of what they had to work on was the standard academic progress. And if someone transferred in, that really hurt their SAP, is what it was called.
Right.
So now with the people transferring constantly, and it sure doesn't seem like anyone's talking about the fact that they're student athletes. They're just athletes now, and the NIL, right? So it doesn't seem like they are going to class, but I suppose when they get out into the workforce, if they don't make it in the NFL, we'll be able to tell if they've learned anything or not. Not that you have to go to college to learn anything. I'm not saying that. But for some of these people, they're the first person in their family to go to college and get that education. Mm-hmm. But all right, we've got one more segment to go here on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels. Opened up by Lee and Kate's Glass. Every day in Duval reminds us why we live here.
You rise up onto bridges over the St. Johns River far below. And Jacksonville shines from a number of angles, like a jewel being turned in your hand.
1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Hey, Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. Hey, this is Tom McManus, former Jaguar. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated, and we are J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner. With honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 25th, 1956, Pittsburgh Pirates' Roberto Clemente hits the MLB's first and only walk-off inside the park grand slam.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. You've heard me talk about the Rolex my grandfather gave me for graduating from college, but there's something else you need to know about Rolex watches from an official Rolex jeweler for over 60 years. If you own a Rolex, probably today more than ever before, if you need that Rolex serviced, you should only visit an official Rolex jeweler. In North Florida, there are 4, with Underwood's 3 stores, and Mayors has 1. Anybody else claiming to work on Rolex has no direct access to parts, and the use of non-authentic Rolex parts jeopardizes your Rolex from both an authenticity and a value standpoint. At Underwoods, we have state-of-the-art Rolex repair shops, both designed and outfitted by Rolex and staffed by Rolex watch technicians trained by Rolex. And best of all, our shop is on premise, so your Rolex will never leave Jacksonville, and our Rolex repairs carry a 2-year warranty. At Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests. Circa Million, and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jax Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jax Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jax cool since 87.
The cool down of today for me is this a shout out to the offensive line. Aren't you sick and tired of us talking about how the defense has been dominating you all off season? So you got tomorrow off. You're going to do a little walkthrough Sunday, a little practice, and then Monday, come the pads. I want to see that offensive line fire off. I want to see a little attitude. I want to see a little aggressiveness, and I think we are going to see it. So I know cool down sounds like, hey, man, cool it down, but I'm getting fired up because I want that old line to start kicking some ass out there, and we'll see if they made the right picks and who they got in there, and we'll see if any backups are ready to challenge for some starting spots.
Heck yeah. Also, we can cool down, Tom, with Hops That Help. Raised money on Wednesday night at Southern Swells, and we had an absolute blast. Got to hang out with Tom Coughlin and certainly Kelly Coughlin and the whole family, and Marissa, who came through or has been on our show several times. Taylor, pregnant with her third child, and got to see. So excited for them. She was a J-Fun child, and then now she's married with, like I said, with kids. And we ended up with a painting that we won from the auction that hangs up in our house now, a shark's tooth painting, which was cool. But it was just so much fun.
I heard you both had fun, and those events in general. Every time we were talking about how well J-Fun does everything that they do, and it's obviously for a great cause, so that adds even more value to it.
The music was so good.
Both of you hyped it up, so it was as good as you said it was going to.
Steve does such a great job setting the whole thing up. He worked his tail off.
Steve said, I got tired of drinking wine, so I wanted to do something with beer. That's how it all started.
Which I totally get, so Cam, his daughter, played.
Lauren has never said that.
No, that is also true. The other guy that played, Braden Harris, was amazing.
He was great. Yeah, they were great.
From Georgia. So hopefully he can come back down to Jacksonville and play some more.
Yeah, it was great for a great cause, and it was his 10th year. So hey, that's a lot of work, man.
Of raising this
that's
money.
a lot of work putting that together. That's one thing about Jacksonville, man. No matter the cause or the charity event, it's always well received and well attended, and it has been that way for. I've been here for 30 years. It always seems to be that way.
Yeah. When you ask the city to come together, they will come together very quickly.
Yep.
Now we just need our Jags to come together, and then the city will come together even more.
So much fun.
It's going to be great.
We talked about this off air, but Trevor Lawrence and his drop, it has changed since not just college, but it's also changed since last year.
Yep.
And Liam Cohen has talked about this, the footwork and the mechanics of how before he would get the football, the center would snap it, he'd get the football, and his right foot would be forward.
Right. In shotgun.
Yeah. And now his left foot is forward.
Right.
So, Tom, explain to people why they wanted to change that. None of us can figure out why it took till
so long to do
2025,
it.
year 5 for Trevor in the NFL,
Right.
but explain to people why that's important.
Well, I would explain with a demonstration like we did earlier here, but since we can't do that. So, look, when you throw righty, you step with your left foot. So if your left foot is forward in the shotgun, you can grab that ball and immediately turn your hips to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
When you start with your right foot, you got to get that right foot back and then throw it. It's like not a second, but a half a second.
Yeah, which is a lot of time.
Extra
And that's
step,
right. Yeah.
and that's what Liam is trying to shorten, to say, hey, get your body and feet in the right position so you can make the decision quickly and deliver it quickly and on time. So I like we were talking about, it blows my mind that no quarterback coach, okay, forget high school, but in Clemson, even leading up to today, like nobody said, hey, maybe you should start with your left foot forward.
Yeah.
But get the ball out quicker, you know? It's just wild. But like you said, Lauren, in college, he didn't have to. He had time.
Yeah.
Guys would get open. He'd throw it, So, again, I'm surprised that it took this long, but at the same time, who cares? He is getting the ball out quicker. It is noticeable. You guys notice it?
Yeah,
I do.
And that's what we've all been very vocal, too, about Trevor's at his best when it's happening quick, when he can get the ball out quick.
Right.
And that has been, there were so many times the last couple years where I'm like, just go no huddle, because I feel like when that would happen, Trevor,
Agreed.
everything would just flow so much better for him.
Yep.
And so this obviously takes even more time off of what he has to do when those things are happening. And so I do think you're going to see a quick change in that, because that's when he's at his best, when he can get that ball out as fast as possible. And now this is adding that half a second.
Well, speaking of Clemson, his former head coach, Dabo Swinney, Joe C. caught up with him at ACC kickoff earlier, and here is Dabo on Trevor Lawrence.
First of all, if he's healthy, he's going to be productive. Obviously, being hurt and had a setback. And then I think the other thing is continuity around him.
Better believe it.
Continuity and consistency around him. I don't care how good a quarterback is. They can't do it by themselves. And, he's on his third head coach, multiple coordinators, and I mean, he needs that as well. He's got to do his part, but I promise you, nobody will work harder than Trevor Lawrence. This kid is as I say, he looks like Hollywood, but he's the most blue collar kid that you'll ever meet.
He looks like Hollywood only because of his hair.
Yeah.
If he didn't have
If he
long
shaved
hair,
the hair off, he'd probably also look blue collar.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the different coaches definitely, they play a factor. But I saw recently where Mayfield's had like 8 or 9 in 9 years, different offensive coordinators. So you just rise above that. And I listen, again, it's all what happens from moving forward here, right? That's all we care about, like moving forward and how Trevor's going to perform. And look, he's going back, Liam and company are going back to the fundamentals, which is great because you start with your feet. I don't care if you're throwing a baseball, shooting a basketball, throwing a punch. I don't care what you do. Throwing a kick, it all starts with your feet and where your hips are and where your power is and how you're throwing, especially for quarterback, throwing off that back foot, aiming that front foot at your target. Those things matter. Again, it's a little surprising that it took this long, but again, I don't really care. And you do see a difference. Trevor was frustrated with that pick, and so was Liam. I could tell, and I get it. They shouldn't have been that frustrated, but that just means they care.
They care.
They're competitive.
They care. It's just. And it's not a big deal, but they will get in front of it. It'll be a great teacher moment, like I said, and they'll get in front of the film, and they'll be like, all right, this is why you threw it there, right? And then you go through it, and you figure out how to clean that up, and maybe the read was bad. Maybe the route was bad. Maybe the receiver wasn't where he's supposed to be. Who knows what the case is.
there was no receiver in sight.
No, there wasn't. You're right. Which is like, you're like, how'd you throw it right to him? That's kind of weird, but whatever.
Yeah, that was weird.
But, hey, quarterbacks make mistakes. Glad it happens during the practice and training camp and not in the game. So
Yeah, that's what this is for. Did you ever take kickboxing?
yeah, heck yeah. I took Taekwondo, got to my purple belt, and I took Kung Fu as well from a private. My friend Teles Asemenos over at Tom Bush BMW. He taught me not only how to Kung Fu, which was great. If we have time, can I explain it real quick? And then he taught me how to box. But with the Kung Fu, so the thinking is, instead of like in Taekwondo, you try to stop your opponent with force. Kung Fu, and I'm paraphrasing, so you Kung Fu specialists, please don't come at me. You let their motion go by you. You don't stop it. You let them go by you. So as a linebacker taking on linemen, that was critical in how I could position my body to not let them get my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so invaluable. And then the rest is just speed, hand quickness, foot quickness, flexibility. I mean, I think everybody should say some form of martial art. I know jiu-jitsu's huge. Get your kids involved, whatever it is, because it'll give them confidence. And I know for me, so when I was 18, going on 19, my linebacker coach at BC said, you got to do what Bill Romanowski did. You got to take Taekwondo and loosen up those hips. And I got into it. I even got a stretching machine. I was cranking out. I was stretching 3 times a day, breaking up the fascia. It hurt, but man, once I got my flex, I'm still really flexible. You see me stretch before the show. I do. I stretch before the show if I've been standing around too long, like stretching out. But it helped me tremendously. And even at age 19, I was confident. It rose my confidence level to a whole new level. And then when I started working out with Tellis, I was like, Tellis's workouts were harder than any football workout by far.
Okay.
And it just taught me a lot about balance, speed, striking, angles, conditioning, just really, really great stuff.
And there's a mental discipline that comes along with that stuff too. So yeah, I agree. When you said as far as the footwork and then you included kick in there, I was like, we haven't talked about this, but I have a feeling that there's a background that you have. All right, before we get out of here for the week, y'all have to listen to this cut of Dabo Swinney talking about Cade Klubnik. So I heard this live as Joe Cowart was interviewing him, again, at ACC kickoff up in Charlotte. Joe and Trent Osborne did a great job up there, just like Matt Hayes, Frank Frangie, and Jacob Simons did a great job at SEC Media Days. But so Cade Klubnik, obviously the Clemson quarterback, and they're expected to have a good year, right? And Dabo's, we know he's a faith-driven guy, and he's a player's type of coach. But just listen to the end of this answer on what his thoughts are on his quarterback.
Yeah, he's in a great spot. He's gotten better every year. And, his first year was okay. Last year he took a big step forward. And if he'll continue that trajectory, and you need a little luck along the way. If he stays healthy, he's going to have a great year because he's put the work in, and he's just he's a gym rat. He's really smart. He can beat you in a lot of ways. He can beat you with his legs, his arm, his mind, and his heart. And so just thankful we got him. It's been fun to watch him develop. He's physically, going from a 175-pound kid to a 207-pound guy.
That's
and proud of him, but really the leader of our team, and he's incredibly respected because he's earned that through his work. So again, just praying that the good Lord will keep him healthy, because if number 2's out there, you always got a chance.
He's a very Dabo thing to say.
He can beat you with his head, his mind, or his legs, his head, his mind, and his heart. Good old
but going
Dabo.
from 19 touchdowns and 9 picks to 36 and 6, that is a big jump for Cade from
no doubt.
that 23 to 24.
Absolutely. All right. Another person that can beat you with the legs, the head, the mind, and the heart.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Hayes must be on vacation because Frank is here.
First of all, Cade Klubnik, I'll go one-on-one right now. I'm ready for that. Hayes is gone. I'm here. You guys sound great, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. We're having fun.
I've told all y'all that individually, but now I'll tell it to you as a group. You guys sound great.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're having an absolute blast.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm lousy at the handoff. That's why I'm here. Hayes is gone. If I'm here, it means Hayes is gone. Taylor.
You're not good at the handoff. Not good at it.
How y'all doing?
Good things. Well, obviously, all of us out at practice today, and we've certainly broken down pretty much every aspect of practice number 3 without pads.
Yeah, and I'm ready for pads. You ready for pads?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be popping, I think.
I think
it's going to be popping,
You get the impression that it's going to be intense a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They're banging already.
Yeah,
They are.
No pads.
You can already see a little bit of jawing.
Let me ask, what was first day of pads like? I mean, what was it like?
It was great.
Were you jacked up?
Oh, absolutely, because we went right into the 9-on-7 inside run drill. So that's a very physical drill, right? So you got 7, they got 9, and you're thumping big time. Yeah, heck
I would think the first day, especially a guy like you,
especially back then.
Yeah, you're dying to hit.
I would think the first day. I think the night before, So I'm looking forward to that. So that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
What's coming up on the show?
Well, I've got Brett Hastings coming in. It's really interesting sports and courts. The President of the United States sent out an executive order of how to do this
for college football.
Okay, so the president now decided.
He said, "Make college football great again."
Yeah, he's. I'm going to get the MCFB GA hat, okay? And but I really want to know what it means. I mean, how do you enforce it?
I don't know.
So, but Brett's been working on it all day, so he's going to come in. So, Sports and Courts 420. Lee Smith's going to talk a little golf. Going to wrap up the British Open at 4:40. Pete Prisco at 5 o'clock. And I want people to rehear. Did you guys hear Liam today on the drill?
Yes.
I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was.
We're going to rehear that. JJ's going to have some headlines, and We got all kind of fun stuff. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Right. Happy birthday, Lauren.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. You going to sing to her?
Yeah, did you want to sing? Could you rap? Could you rap?
The rap story's great, isn't it? Taylor, one day you got to tell the rap story.
Yeah.
One day but I said, you ever notice Lauren gets thinner and younger every year? I told her, it's crap is what it is. It's a bunch of crap's what it is.
Good genetics.
Thank you.
The genes.
Happy birthday. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. All right, Frank. We certainly will be listening. Lots coming up on the show. That'll do it for us for the
Great
week.
week, girls. Great week.
It was. Jaguars back at it on Sunday, and then the Pads go on Monday. So we'll certainly have lots for you Monday afternoon. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you on Monday, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show